Hello, welcome back to Overcompensated. My name's Alexis and I am your host, and we are back on the podcast where we talk about becoming rich in compensation and richer in life. I am here with Riley Walsh, founder of Pilates by Riley, who has just opened up her second Pilates studio, MAGMA, here in Denver. She is a female entrepreneur, has done it herself, and she has a fantastic story to share with you all. So, Riley, would you mind introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about you?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me here. I'm Riley. I'm 26 years old, and like you said, I own two boutique studios here in Denver, Sunnyside area. Pilates by Riley is PBR. That's our original studio, and Magma, not a beer. Easily mistaken. I think a lot of people want it to be a beer. It's not.
Right.
We hide it behind the PBR.
Mm-hmm.
And Magma is our second studio that we just opened. That's our hot mat Pilates studio, also in Sunnyside, right next door to each other. It's been incredible. It's the best career I could have ever imagined.
And how are you living your dream career? Honestly, I'm sure that there are so many people who are listening who are just like so jealous they could not imagine opening up their own brick and mortar Pilates studio before the age of 30. Like, that is absolutely insane.
It's a dream.
How were you able to do that?
You know, it took a while. It was not an overnight thing. There's so much that goes into the journey behind it. There's so many people that went into the journey behind it. I grew up a competitive athlete. I think that's where I originally started. I was a gymnast, and it just started this love and passion for movement and exercise and community. And one day it turned into a pinch me moment of I get to do what I love every single day in a state that I love and am from, around the people that I love and the community that I love. It's a dream.
Okay, so tell me about little girl Riley. So you're from Denver.
Yes.
Like, how did you grow up? Like, aside from being like a competitive athlete, like what was your like childhood like?
I say I have a very normal childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe people would disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I am the youngest of three. I have two older siblings who are the most incredible humans ever. I love them. An older sister and an older brother. My parents are the most incredible people, the most supportive people ever. We grew up in Highlands Ranch. We lived a very normal life. I went to public school. I did gymnastics, and that was my whole childhood. I mean, I spent 35 hours a week in gymnastics.
Wow.
That was my whole entire childhood. I left high school early most days to drive out to practice. I traveled on the weekends. So I say it was a normal childhood because that's all I knew.
Yep.
I didn't have probably the normal high school experience. I wasn't going to football games and proms, and in my brain it was gymnastics, and I loved it. I loved everything about my childhood. I would do it all over again. I loved it.
No rent, no bills.
It was so easy. I mean, my family was the most supportive people. We would go outside before dinner and play basketball every night, and we had family dinners every single night together, and it was the most positive, amazing childhood I could have ever imagined.
So did you want to do anything with competitive gymnastics like after high school? Like, did you have a plan around that?
The goal was college. From day one to get a college scholarship. I ended up going to Iowa State on a full ride, straight out of high school. It was good. It was different. College sports are very different than you would expect. Maybe I just had a different experience behind them. I had so many injuries going into college sports that I think it changed the whole experience of it. I never competed. It was injury after injury after injury. I never went into college sports healthy. And I think growing up, I thought that I was going to die a college gymnast. Like, it was all I wanted. It's all I cared about was being a college gymnast, and then who knows what was going to happen after that. I never thought about what came after gymnastics. It was my whole personality. People would ask me, like, what do you do? Gymnastics.
Oh my goodness.
That's all I knew.
With all of the injuries, did that like influence your kind of like falling in love with Pilates?
That's where it started. I have had 13 knee surgeries.
Oh my gosh.
After gymnastics, I always say that sport is not, you don't do it past the age of 22. Even if you have a full career, you're not going to gymnastics on the weekends as a 30-year-old. I feel like a lot of people have sports growing up where You can go play softball on an adult league or go play hockey, whatever it may be. Once gymnastics is done, I had no idea how to work out. I didn't know what I liked to do. I had no idea what kind of physical activity I wanted to fill my time with. It's not something that I had 37 hours a week to spare now all of a sudden.
Oh
I didn't have to go to the gym. I didn't have to go do flips. So I think when Pilates started, my body hurt. I had so many injuries. I didn't want to run. I didn't want to jump. I didn't want to pound on my body anymore. On top of that, Pilates and gymnastics and dance have so many similarities. It's a movement. It's a dance choreography to me. And that was a similarity that I found and just gravitated towards. It's a beautiful piece of exercise to me. And it's a dance to create a flow of a Pilates class. So I think naturally I just gravitated towards another sport, another workout that was familiar.
And that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, I'm a yoga instructor at Core Power, and a lot of the other instructors, like, they used to be dancers.
Yeah.
And they used to just, they were just so used to, like, moving and breathing and flowing and all of those types of things. And I just feel like it really makes you feel connected to your body. You're incorporating music. You feel connected to the music. I just feel like all of those things, they're just so similar, and they still resonate. It's something that you can do as an adult, to your point.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of sports that you just, like, can't. And I think that anything that protects the body while still allowing you to get a workout in is, like, so important as we get older.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always say people should have started Pilates when they were 4 years old.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm pissed at my coaches that we never did Pilates.
We've got to get
Why are we lifting weights? Why?
Are we getting a teenage program?
We are. Maybe one day. Never say never. Start them younger. That way they can continue with good movement for your body at the right age. Start them young and teach them the foundations of enjoying a movement that does not hurt your body.
Okay, so now I have to have you settle a debate, because there are so many people on the internet who cannot agree on what Pilates is. Is Pilates reformers? Is it Legree? Is it classical? Don't roll your eyes. There's a lot of inquiring minds.
There is, and I don't think that I probably have the end-all be-all answer.
Can you give at least an answer?
Pilates itself is a traditional creation of movements. Joseph Pilates created Pilates. Pilates is light spring tension movements, functional movements on a reformer. Now there's the fine line of Legree, there's Pilates, there's Megaformer, there's mat Pilates, it broke off into subgroups. Legree and Pilates are totally different. They are two different groups of movements. Both on a carriage.
Yeah.
One on a Megaformer, one on a reformer. Different.
What's the difference?
They're built, the carriages are built different. Mega Reformer and Legree go together. Has nothing to do with Pilates. I hate to say that. We share movements. We share lunges. We share planks. We share similar movement patterns on the piece of equipment. Reasoning behind both creations, totally different.
So, depending on the kind of workout that someone wants to get, like, when would you recommend someone goes to more of like a Megaformer class versus a traditional, like a classical Pilates class versus like mat Pilates? Like, what do you see as like the benefits of the different types of workouts? Because I'm sure there's something for everyone.
There is. And reformer Pilates, traditional Pilates, I think is great for those just getting started, introduced to Pilates and the movements behind it. That's your base. Mat Pilates is great for people who want to take it from their house, if they travel a lot, they can do all these movements in their living room, on wherever they're at. Legree and Megaformer, I think, are for people who have some sort of background in traditional Pilates. I always say it's you're not going to get the most out of Legree or Megaformer classes if you have never done a traditional Pilates class. Where people don't like traditional Pilates because it's slower, controlled, boring movements that they think are easy.
But it's not supposed to be
It's
easy.
not easy. If you're doing it correct.
Right.
It's not easy.
I've taken classical Pilates. I keep calling it traditional. I've taken classical
Yeah.
Pilates before. And no, I can attest.
It's crazy.
Not easy.
It's crazy.
It's
so,
just slower.
I think it is
It's
a
slower.
lot of it too is we go through trends on Instagram, TikTok, and it ebbs and flows. Some people go through their traditional Pilates era, and then in a year and a half, they're going to go through their Legree era. And I think it's great. Switch it up. I think it's great to switch it up. I think all of them have incredible benefits. I think you also gravitate to the studio and the space and the instructor to find an experience that you enjoy. Because there is somewhere for everyone.
Okay, so what kind of experiences are you trying to set and create at PBR versus MAGMA? Are they different? Are they similar? Like, what do you want people to feel like when they walk into your studio so they feel like attached to, you know, the community that you're creating here?
So before even starting PBR or MAGMA, I came from corporate Pilates studios, big corporate Pilates studios. I taught in North Carolina, Florida, came out here and taught for 5.5 years. And it's crazy. You show up for work at these big corporations and there's so many rules, there's so many things that you have to do that it doesn't feel like a community. Everyone shows up, they go to your workout, they go home. They don't talk to each other, they don't want to talk to me. They just want to show up, go to their workout, and that's fine. And that's great. And some people love that. That's what they're there to do. At PBR, when I created it, the one main value and drive behind it was this needs to be a place where people feel welcome and comfortable, and whether they are a professional athlete, whether they are 85 years old, we have a class for them, we have instruction for them, we have a place where they feel seen. Walking into a studio is terrifying. I walked into a studio after I was done with gymnastics and sat in my car for 30 minutes. I arrived early, sat in my car, terrified to even just walk in and greet the lady at the front desk because I was so scared. And that's coming from someone who grew up doing lunges, squats, lifting weights, an athlete. And in that moment I realized, think how terrifying it must be for people to walk into a exercise facility without any background in movement. Petrifying. If I was that scared and I sat in my car for 30 minutes, terrified where I'm going to put my shoes and my water bottle, they must be absolutely terrified. So if I can create a space where we greet them at the door and we know them by name and we can give them one-on-one feedback. That's why we kept PBR to only 6 performers. Because we can cap it and have our one-on-one connection with every single client. I can sit here and honestly say every single client at PBR, and I mean, we've only been open for a week, and so I'm getting there. I know every single person by name walking in and out of that studio. Because I want to create a connection where they feel safe enough to trust me as an instructor, trust me as a person, trust me as an owner, that they're not just a person walking into this space and going to be able to sit in the corner and not be seen.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. So, you know, I'm curious from your standpoint, because it sounds like you've only kept PBR to a very small, you know, location with only 6 performers at once. And I know you have a lot of classes throughout the day, but I feel like what we're seeing with other type of like Pilates, Legree, Megaformer studios is that they are cramming in a bunch of reformers so they can pack the classes as much as possible. I just saw a TikTok about solid core and how venture capitalism, you know, kind of impacted the studio experience there because there's so many people. The instructors can't give, you know, one-on-one attention. They can't give adjustments. It's, you know, loud. It's distracting. Like I'm fearful for, you know, people who don't have a background in movement and they're moving, like as a yoga instructor, like it is my job to be able to see people and adjust people if there is anything that they're doing that's going to be like unsafe on their body and their joints. And so, you know, I'm just curious from your standpoint, how do you see like having a smaller boutique studio with a higher level of attention versus a place where you can come and you can get, a great workout, but you're not getting that kind of like hands-on one-on-one adjustments, attention, just, ability for the instructor to make sure that you're not only getting the best workout, but also doing what's best for your physical body.
Yeah, I think, and some people want to go somewhere where they're guaranteed a spot. They don't have to worry about booking out. They don't have to worry about the instructor coming over to them and giving them hands-on adjustments. And they want to be in the back corner, not seen, show up and go home. And that's not what you're going to get at PBR. People sometimes are upset that we don't have openings on the schedule. And they always say, why don't you add more reformers? Why don't you get a bigger space? Why don't you do X, Y, and Z? Because Pilates is so precise and form is the only thing that's going to give you the benefit of Pilates, and our instructors are trained to have the time and attention to give to every single client that walks in and out of that studio. And if you cap it at 6 people, we have the time to do that. You're going to get noticed, you're going to get seen, and you're going to get to know the people around you. We only have so many people that can come into the studio, and if you're coming consistently at 7 a.m., you're going to know the 5 other girls or men sitting next to you. And you're going to make friends with them. We've had roommates come out of it. We've had, that's part of it, is the community that we can create by keeping it small.
And I think that's absolutely fantastic. And I'm curious because I know you also train trainers, and you train people in, learning how to not only teach Pilates, but also how to, I'm sure, cultivate a class experience. And, I just trained in my 200 hours at Core Power in the fall. Then I did, 50 hours I trained with Boost Pilates, ended up not working there. And then I just did another 50-hour yoga sculpt training. So I kind of have the perspective on a longer, more intensive training. And it's so funny, my boss at Core Power, husband is going to be taking your mat Pilates training.
No way.
She is so excited about it. I told her I was speaking to you.
World.
And she was like, oh my God, I'm doing her training.
Fun.
She's been, done. I mean, she just did her 500 hours for yoga. And I just feel like there's so, many similarities. There's so much overlap. And I feel like people who are inclined to teach others and help others, if it's whatever, deepen their postures or do things that feel accessible to them, that feel good on their body, that feel healthy. What is your perspective on a shorter stint training for a studio versus something that's longer and more intensive where you can deep dive? And honestly, from my experience, the only reason that I felt comfortable training in a 50-hour yoga sculpt was because I did 200 hours of actual traditional yoga training. And because I was able to leverage what I knew about the body, about anatomy, and about, creating a class experience where I felt comfortable teaching just 50 hours. And I know people who went through my 50-hour, yoga sculpt training, they're like, I don't feel like I'm ready to, do basically teach a class. I don't know if I can conduct it. There's so many things that you need to learn that's just really hard to do in that short, period of time. And so Core Power offers advanced teacher practice, ATP, whatever it's called, advanced, for people who have done a small training to get additional hours to work up to 100. But, how long is your training program? How long do your instructors train for? What are the things that you focus on? And what's your perspective on shorter trainings versus longer? You're looking at me like you have
a lot to say about it. So my comprehensive certification is 500 hours. I think that is bare minimum for what should be a certification. There's so much information, there's so much curriculum, there's so much growth that needs to happen over those 500 hours. And it is so clear, and maybe it's just clear to me because I have a lot under my belt of hours, but when you go to a studio, you can tell when the instructor is trained in a 3-day course or in a 500-hour comprehensive.
1,000,000%.
And it shows.
Yeah.
And it shows, and I think it is absolutely terrifying that there are instructors who had 3 days on a reformer and now have a group class of 30 people sitting in front of them.
It's irresponsible.
I think that is irresponsible. I think it is terrifying. And you can tell when you get put in a place with an instructor with that amount of training. I mean, we start with mat, we transition into reformer. We have 12 in studio weekends, 120 hours inside the studio learning the movements. And in that 120 hours, there's a group of, this year there's 12. You're interacting with other like-minded people. You're having the one-on-one time with me, with other instructors that I bring in for them to pick brains with. You're getting to use time inside of the studio to practice, to learn, to bring in your own clients and teach on them. They do observations. They do apprenticeship hours under me. They do book work outside. They do self-practice. They do practice teaching and our in-studio hours.
Wow.
And then beyond that, then we start to introduce them to teaching full groups of classes.
Oh my gosh.
It usually takes 6-7 months for them to be on the schedule. It's a lot of hours, but it's a lot of information. We go over special populations. What happens if you have a pregnant woman in your class? I mean, I set them up to have knowledge to be able to teach any experience level, any background, any injury, any story, and have them ready to teach. I don't want to set them up for failure. I want to give them every single ounce of knowledge that I found to prepare them for their journey and make it for them. And each person is different. Some people take the certification and never teach a day in their life. Some people take it and just want to grow in confidence and learn how to present themselves in front of a group of people. And that's great. And so it's really cool that I get to hear everyone's why behind why they want to be in the certification. Because a lot of times it's not to teach. A lot of times it's to either deepen their understanding of movement or find a confidence and challenge themselves with something new. Because at the age of 30, we kind of stop learning a lot. And honestly, this gives them the chance to get back in a classroom, get back in front of mentors and people that they can interact with and learn from and grow from and ask questions to and put them in a learning situation.
Okay. No. So are there any studios around Denver? Because you're like OG Denver. You've been here your whole life. So are there any studios around here that are like similar to your studios, or any ones that you like outside of like just PBR and Magma? Or, I mean, you're the best. But...
Right? I'm not going to do my own horn. I think there's a ton of studios in Denver. There's so many Pilates studios. There's so many Legree studios. They're everywhere. We're in a great area for workout classes. Try not to go take a lot of classes at a ton of other Pilates studios, just because I'm in the Pilates world so much that sometimes I just need to go for a walk. Or I had a personal trainer for a very long time because I cannot sit in a class and my brain not be thinking like, oh, that was a cool cue, or oh, this person next to me, her form needs like a little adjustment. Like I can't shut off my brain at all. I think there's incredible studios in Denver. I think that they're all very, very, very different. I think that that's the cool thing, and that's what I tried to do with PBR is people are going to go to Solid Core. People are going to go to Orange Theory. People are going to find their place at Barry's. They're going to go to Transform. Wherever they want to go, they're going to gravitate to that place for a reason. It's for a reason. Whether it's the massive schedule of classes that they offer, whether it's the community of women that also go there. They're around their age. They want to interact. They want to meet new friends. They want to go there. Whether it is because of the vibe, how it looks inside of the studio, the design of the studio. Some people want to just go to the prettiest of prettiest studios. Yeah, so I think there is a very, very, very good mix of studios in Denver. I think a lot of them do an incredible job. They have great values and a mission behind it, and I love that every single studio is so different.
Okay, I love that. So like, let's get into like entrepreneur Riley. Like, how do you actually open up a a Pilates studio, brick and mortar, in like in Sunnyside, like one of the like most expensive neighborhoods in Denver. It's gorgeous. I've been. I went to your PBR opening. Oh my God, how many years ago was that?
2023.
2 years ago. Went. It was beautiful, so well done. And so I'm just curious, like, how do you actually like go about doing that? Like, what was the hardest part for you? Like, what did you learn from that experience?
It's been a crazy experience, and I will say that the PBR experience, opening that, and MAGMA, very two different experiences.
Whoa, okay.
Crazy. PBR opening 2023, it was February. I was at a point where I wanted more freedom. I thought to myself, I have so much passion and love and so much to give to Pilates, and I'm giving it to a corporation right now. What would it feel like if I did it for myself? And I sat with that question, and I thought to myself, I can do this by myself, and I can do it here in Denver the way I want to do it. So I think I seriously told my parents in January of 2023 that I'm going to open a studio, and we opened in February of 2023.
Oh my God.
Like, it was never in my mind that this is what I was going to do. If you would have asked me a year before that, I probably would have said, yeah, this is great. I have a lot of classes on my schedule. I'm teaching. I show up. I teach my class. I go home. And that's all I was focused on. I had no idea what I was about to get into. PBR started with only 2 reformers. It was a very small, private, semi-private studio that I thought was going to stay a tiny little studio. I was just going to teach all the classes, and it was just going to be me. And that was going to be it. I was just going to teach privates for the rest of my life. And 6 months into PBR, things got crazy, and I needed more times on my schedule. I needed more reformers. So we went from 2 reformers to 6 reformers within 4 months of opening. We then relocated to a 500 more square foot building. Had that location in Denver. That's kind of, I think, when it turned into, holy crap, what are we getting into? Wow. Like, this changed quickly, and I don't even think I had the time to realize what was going on. I was still just little Riley, like, yay, I get to teach Pilates every day. I love this. I get to meet all these cool people. I love where I'm at. I love that I'm in my hometown. I have my family. I have my friends, and I have my studio. And that's what I thought for the first 6, 7, 8 months. And then one day I realized that this is going to keep growing. And we're doing something right where people are coming back.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea what to expect. I could have failed.
Yeah.
I could have. I had no background in running a business. I was a Pilates instructor. I had no idea how to do social media. I had no idea how to build a business plan. I went to school for physical education and health. I have no background in marketing, in business, in communications. I just knew that I knew how to teach Pilates.
Okay, so then what are the things that you realized that you like needed to know as an entrepreneur? Like, you're finding like your own space, like you need to find investment, like, you know, reformers are not
expensive.
Cheap. So like, what are the things that you realize you're like, oh, whoa, this is stuff that I have to, like, I've got to put on my like business hat, not just like my Pilates instructor hat.
I am very, very, very fortunate that my parents funded the start of this studio. I'll flat out say that. There's no way I could have purchased $30,000 worth of equipment and just popped open the doors. So that's where the startup came from, and I'll thank my parents forever for that, because they created this, and I give them all the credit.
Thank you, Walshes.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. But after that, I had to get it through my head that this is not going to be a luxurious, massive corporation studio. We are not going to have the nicest of nice things. It's not going to be beautiful walls and floors. And I had to realize that I don't need to be spending money on little things.
On just the aesthetic.
Yeah. I need to let my passion and drive and want to come across where people want to come here. Not because I have brand new sleek marble floors, because I didn't have the money to do that.
No, absolutely not.
You start with 0 memberships. I had no idea, like, there was no money coming in at the beginning. So I had to get it through and that was a big learning curve for me, because I am someone who wants I like having nice things. I like it to be pretty. I like it to be sparkly and whatever. And that was not how this was going to go. Mm-hmm. That and learning, I had no idea what software to use and booking, and Google was my best friend.
Oh, you didn't have ChatGPT?
I didn't have ChatGPT.
Oh my god!
I did not have ChatGPT, and boy, did it change my life.
Oh yeah,
oh man. I didn't have. I mean, I had an incredible group of previous coworkers that I've been with, and instructors that I've been around, and even just friends that gave me insight to it. But Google. I mean, I seriously had to type in how to build a business plan. Oh my god. I had no idea. My dad asked for it. What do you mean a business plan? My plan is to open a studio. That's the plan. He's like I had no idea. So that's why when I sit here and say that this is wild that now I have two, I was just bright-eyed and bushy-eyed, ready to just share my love and passion for this movement.
I love that. Okay, so then what did you learn from PBR that you've now applied to MAGMA? How is that opening been? How was the launch? Tell me, how did that come about? And also, how did you decide that you were okay, we're
ready
not
for
just,
two.
but we're also ready for mat Pilates, something different, which there's not a lot of heated mat Pilates in Denver. It's just, I'm curious. How did you decide, okay, it's time for number two?
So PBR was set in amazing. We just moved into our newest space last August. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it's almost been a year. In Sunnyside, beautiful studio. We love it. We got to a point where the studio was doing very well. I loved the schedule we were able to create. I have an incredible team of instructors now, where before it was just me teaching every single day. Now I have 8-9 instructors who are part of the team. We figured out how to create a space that is welcoming and goes beyond just Pilates. We were able to create a community of people who enjoyed coming, and we got to know them, and we got to this place where we were comfortable. We were loving it, and everything was fine and dandy. And so why not add more? And I had it in the back of my brain for probably the last 6-7 months. Am I going to do an online platform of mat Pilates, or are we going to open a second studio? And I always told people I have no desire to open a second studio. I think I should have reworded it to say I have no desire to open another PBR, because I knew I still had more passion for something. I wanted to do something different, something that was still true to us and our brand. And that's when MAGMA came about. So for those who haven't been to the studio, PBR is very white walls, bright windows, very airy and pretty and greenery. It's very clean and minimal. And I got so lucky that the door right next to our studio opened, and that interior is brick walls, concrete floors. I painted all the walls black. It's our alter ego. And I wanted to have another space where MAGMA is the grit. That's I call it our therapy room almost. PBR is fresh and airy, and MAGMA is where the foundation is built. It's gritty, it's dark, it's a place where you can just go and almost feel the transformation from the inside out. It's fiery. It's the complete opposite of PBR.
Okay, so first people listening, when would someone want to do PBR and classical Pilates versus when do they want to do heated mat Pilates?
Yeah.
What are the workouts how are they different?
PBR is still very traditional reformer Pilates. All of our instructors are classically trained. MAGMA is more beat driven, more heated sculpt, party in there.
Oh,
it's
love
a party,
that.
And PBR is pretty. It's graceful in a dance and a movement at PBR, and MAGMA is the work that's done behind the scenes where you just need to go, escape, sweat, detox. It's for yourself.
I love that.
I always said PBR was for the community. Magma was for me. Like,
Yeah,
that's what I
needed
needed it. It was my therapy.
I love that. Have you ever been to Yoga Sculpt?
I have.
Okay.
Actually, one of our instructors is from Yoga Sculpt too.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Was it Core Power?
No.
Okay, different studio. What's your thoughts? Like, what are the differences to you?
Still very similar. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between Yoga Sculpt classes and our Magma classes. We still try to incorporate traditional Pilates movements into our hot classes without touching into any yoga movements. I'm not yoga certified. I don't know how to cue three-legged dog. I don't know how to get people in mountain pose. I don't have a background in that at all. I know how to get people into a roll down. I know how to cue that. So we still have it's the exact same beat-driven, high intensity workouts. Now we just take away the yoga
and put it in Pilates.
Pilates.
I love that. Oh my god!
Same music, same vibe, same heat. The room's at 100.
Oh my god!
Gets spicy in there.
Oh, whoa!
But we tried to keep the similarities. There's so many shared similarities still between the two spaces. We kept a few of the same instructors. We kept the same branding behind it of this space is for every single person. Every single person in here will be seen, will be known, will have a place to escape and enjoy their time here. Personalized approach. Our studio at Magma only holds 16 people. We're not opening it to a class of 40. That wasn't the goal of Magma, is to open so that we can fit more people. It was to create a different type of space for them to add on to their traditional reformer Pilates workouts. We also don't have mirrors at either studio. That's something that I stand by because it creates this thought that you need to be staring at yourself in the mirror. And that's not where the work is done. It starts internally. It doesn't need to be for everyone to be seen around you.
Okay, so you had said you were debating between opening up another studio or doing like an online platform. How did you evaluate that you didn't want to do something more like digitally driven, especially in like today's day and age, and you wanted another brick and mortar location?
Yeah. The reason behind gravitating slightly away from online, which it might not even be out of the question, maybe that's next, absolutely. Who knows? I love being inside the studio and meeting every single person. I love it. I think there would have been a void if it was just a screen. And that's where it came down to. And like you said, there's no hot mat Pilates studio that only does hot mat Pilates in Denver. So the community kind of asked for it. It was all over. I mean, without saying anything, people wanted it. We've seen it all over TikTok. We've seen it booming on Instagram. Someone had to do it, and I found the space, and the timing lined up, and where I was at, I had the capacity to add on.
I love that.
And everything timed out great.
So you just brought up social media, and no, entrepreneur can start any business without being, social media forward right now. And I know you said you didn't have like any type of like marketing background. So how did you, conceptualize incorporating social media into your brand growth, into your strategy, into, helping? I'm sure it's like drives a lot of the, signups, and the reason that people are like, hey, these classes are too small. Like, we need bigger ones. Like, how do you think about your social media positioning and to like accelerate your business growth?
So I have always loved social media. I've always loved posting on my personal. It was always fun for me. I knew I needed to bring in a photographer. I love my photographer. That was kind of step one, is that if we're going to create this brand, we needed it to be shown and captured through the camera to be able to show what we have to offer without just writing out, like, we're a boutique reformer Pilates studio in Denver. Cool, great. Yeah. But I want to see what it's like. What are the people inside of there giving, realistically? So creating Instagram. I honestly have not dabbled in TikTok. Not at all. I have a TikTok.
How did I see your TikTok
video? Because that's the only TikTok I think I've ever made. I have never been a TikTok girl. I cannot figure it out. But Instagram brings in so many people.
I'm sure.
It's a beautiful thing. And when it's done right, it's going to be your very best friend. On the flip side, it could also be your worst nightmare because you constantly have people sharing videos and writing reviews on Instagram and TikTok and recording your studio and posting about it. So social media is your best friend if it's used correctly. I mean, you have to run the ads. You have to post. I try to post once a day, put up stories, share backstories from people who posted it, tag people and things. Message other businesses on there and try to do collabs. It's a great tool to build your whole entire community.
I think that's beautiful. I think that's amazing. So obviously we touched on the social media piece and like growing a business, and you're an entrepreneur. You're like so driven. It's not quite giving workaholic though.
No.
And like on Overcompensated, on Overcompensated we talk about being like rich in compensation but richer in life, because like I don't believe that making money and making work your entire identity, even when you have a huge passion for it, is what life is all about. I believe it's about balance. I believe it's about, being, holistic about the way that you evaluate like what your definition of success is. So I would love to know about Riley, outside of just teaching Pilates, how do you make sure that your life feels rich and fulfilled and balanced and all of those
And it's
things?
easy to get caught up in,
I'm sure,
work for everyone. That's all we do. That's all we spend our time doing. I try, and we all need to be better about it, to prioritize time with my people outside of the studio. My family, my friends, my boyfriend, my dog. That's my time where I can be me and just enjoy and not have to worry about the chaos of the studios going on. I love being outside. I love walking my dog around Sloan's and going to get coffee and going shopping and doing board games at home and little things where you can escape reality with people who you can be yourself around. That's what I love, to be around my people. And I think I have I'm lucky to have the people in my life that I do, to have that time to escape, and they just see me as Riley. It's not boss girl, whatever. It's just I can go and be myself and do the things that I like to do and not have to worry about if the studio needs this, or this. I try to give myself one day off a week from being inside the studio. That's kind of my break. I can go to a Rockies game if I want to. I can go to a concert if I want to. And in the last 5 months, I think I've done a much better job of figuring out where the balance is of working and still being, I'm only 26. I still should be going out to brunch with my friends and enjoying vacations. And I'm still young. I'm not at a time where work is everything.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be.
It's not.
Even when you get older, even when
you
get older, you should still always have that level of balance, and again, the ability to just exist with the people who love you and enjoy your life. Because what's the point of success if you don't have the opportunity to actually take a step back and enjoy it? And I feel that's why people say money doesn't buy happipiness. Money is supposed to buy freedom. Yes, but the happiness comes externally. It does. It comes from those relationships and cultivating that and giving yourself this space to cultivate that.
Yes. You need to be able to not lose yourself in this whole entire thing, because it's very easy to do that. And I always think, when I was little, I was a gymnast. That's what I said to people. I'm a gymnast. That's what I do. I don't want it to ever be I'm Riley and I own a studio. I'm still me. I still have my activities and I still like to do things outside of just this. I love what I do, but there still needs to be the separation of, I want to go home and watch a movie and drink a glass of wine and go walk my dog and go on a trip and enjoy whatever it may be without having to just lock in on all work right now.
Oh, so I have a question. Are you good at delegating? Like, if you do have to step away from the studio, like, are you good at, like, relinquishing control? You gotta
No,
work on that.
I'm not.
Work on
I
that.
have, and that's probably the one thing that I am trying to be better. This is my baby. This studio, these two studios now, I created it, I started it, and I want to do everything. And that's not how this works. And I know that. I am going to lose my mind. I'm going to get so burnt out and regret not being able to just let go a little bit. I started with just me teaching. I've allowed myself to want and be excited that I have 9 other women on my team. That was a big step for me, that I am not teaching every single class. I also realized I don't need to add all these things to it. If I have someone who's offering to run the social media for a week, if I have someone who's offering to clean the studios, if I have someone who is offering to run errands, to pick up flyers for whatever the event is on Sunday, let them.
Yeah.
They're offering. They want to help. And I don't have to watch over every single thing, because I do feel like I've created a team of people who I do trust, and I know that they will put out the exact same work that I would expect myself to do. And so I'm getting better about it.
Okay, that's amazing. Because, like, my next question was going to be, like, you're a wellness professional, but, like, you've, I'm sure, experienced burnout at
Yes.
times. How has that, like, experience been for you? And, like, how did you overcome, like, experiencing burnout? Because, I mean, I know there's a lot of people who are very driven, who are very successful, who just take on so much because they have so much to give, they have so much to offer.
Yeah.
But I try to, encourage people to remember that, like, you cannot do it all, and you also cannot do it all at once. And if you are going to either do it all or do it all at once, you need help.
Yes.
And so, like, did you experience burnout? How did you, like, navigate through that? And, like, what did you learn from that?
I think burnout is inevitable. I mean, our schedule as instructors, we are getting up at 4:30, and you might teach your last class at 7:30 p.m. You are going nonstop, and you're expected to show up for this group of clientele and give them your all day in and day out. We don't get off days. Like, we can't give a crappy class because they just paid $30 for that drop in, and it's my fault if they're not happy. So it's so easy to give. One day you realize, like, I'm exhausted. I haven't hung out with my friends. I haven't slept more than 6 hours. I've been barely eating. I've been running all these errands. Like, it's so easy to get caught up in it. And I think, for me at least, it kind of goes through waves. Like, I'll sit here and admit, this last week with opening MAGMA, I've taught 67 classes in the last 2.5 weeks.
Gosh.
I'm burnt out. I'm exhausted. I am ready for a few days off. And I took the weekend off because I can. And I need a break just from pouring into every single other person. I need to pour into me. I need to pour into my life at home, my dog, my boyfriend, my family. Like, I need to take a step back, regroup, and then I can get back into it. And hopefully on a better schedule that's not me teaching as often as I am. But you have to go back to enjoy, like, yes, you're burnt out with teaching, but find the moments of stillness, just drinking a tea in the morning and having that time and space where you can just sit and relax and chill before you're pouring into every other person for the next 12 hours.
That's such a good perspective. Like, that's such good advice. You also deserve to celebrate yourself.
Yes.
You deserve to celebrate your accomplishments and your wins. So before we close, I have a couple of, like, fun, quick questions that I want to ask you. So you're a gymnast, and now you're CEO, female entrepreneur. We need to know, like, what is your favorite recovery tool or, like, way to help physically recover your body?
Right now, I've really been on electrolytes. I'm in a big electrolyte kick, and I think it's because I've been sitting in the heat for so long. A good large glass of water and electrolytes, and, like, a cold shower at the end of the day.
Okay.
It's kind of the vibe I'm in right now.
Amazing, because next question was going to be sauna or cold plunge.
I think I'll go cold plunge. Again, I think it's
Oh.
stemming from I've been in the heat too much for the last few days. Right now, cold plunge.
I love that. Was there an event where there was a cold plunge?
Yes, recently at Strength in the City.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, we need
Yep.
one of those.
Yep.
I love that. Okay, what is the number one song that you're playing on your MAGMA playlist right now when people are sweating?
No Broke Boys.
No Broke Boys.
That's a quick
no
answer.
Fred.
It's on the top of playlist right now. No Broke Boys. Yeah, I think that's the one that I'm gonna. We've had a lot of Drake playing right now.
Okay.
Just in general, but I think specific song, No Broke Boys.
Amazing.
At MAGMA.
Favorite food?
Sushi.
Oh, yum.
Any kind of sushi.
Okay, I love that. And what's your next trip?
Michigan to see my family.
Oh, fun.
Yes, I'm going to see my grandma in Michigan.
Okay.
Have a little lake getaway in the middle of August.
I love that.
A little break.
I love that. And what do you feel like is the biggest unexpected challenge that you faced over the last year?
I'm going to go back to still saying finding ways to take some things off my plate and not burn out myself.
Okay, amazing.
And figuring out where those gaps can be to still have this incredible 2 studio spaces, but not get over my head, busy, crazy chaos mode.
That's amazing. And last, I want you to fill in the blanks here. I built MAGMA to blank. I want women to walk into my studio and feel blank.
I built MAGMA to feel.
I built MAGMA
to create a space for everybody.
and I want women to walk into my studio and feel seen. I love that. What a great way to end Seen. Riley, thank you so much for coming, for sharing your journey as an entrepreneur. I know it hasn't been easy, but it is truly inspiring. And I'm sure there's so many fitness professionals in Denver who can look at you and look at what you've accomplished and achieved and feel like maybe there's a path for them to actually, you know, follow their dreams if it is being, you know, a fitness entrepreneur. So, you know, are there any final like words that you'd like to share with the people listening, with the community, anything that they should know?
I think the biggest thing, if I could share anything, is pour your passion and your love into something and it's going to succeed.
That's
if you can pour into something that you care about and love and have passion for, it's going to work out. Because you have it in you. You do.
Amazing.
And it'll work out if it's meant to be.
I absolutely love that. Okay, so obviously we know Pilates by Riley, we know MAGMA. Where can people find you, follow along? Are there any upcoming events that people should know about, or do they just need to like get in the studio?
Social media, at Pilates by Riley and at MAGMA PBR. Stay up to date on all. We'll have so many events, parties, exciting things coming up on there. That's the best way to find it.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate you, and to everyone listening, I'm so excited for our next guest next week. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye.